Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know, I am Al B from KDKS 102.1 FM right here in Shreveport, Alpha Media. Of course, we are here for a very exciting announcement. I'm obviously keeping my mask on. I'm keeping my mask on for obvious reasons. We're here for a very exciting announcement. I can't imagine anybody here or in our area who would not be excited by this. And I am including the press in that, the residents, of course, the government, alumni of both schools. Welcome to Independence Stadium, and thank you for joining us for this announcement. I'll be your master of ceremonies for this event, so relax as much as you can, and allow me to introduce you to our first speaker, the mayor of our great city, Adrian Perkins.
Well, thank you, Mr. David Beverly, for that introduction. We know him here locally as Al B, so very strange to call you that, but happy that you're here. Thank you for moderating today. Thank you to the media for being here. I'd like to quickly just acknowledge our public officials that we have present, and I'll start off with the City Council. Can we have the City Council members stand up that are present in the audience? Can we acknowledge them? We're in Councilman Jerry Bowman's district here in District G. I want to thank him for his leadership and for hosting us today. Thank you, Councilman, for having us. And also the Caddo Commission. If we have any Caddo Commissioners here, can you all stand as well? Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your leadership and your support with this event today as well. And on behalf of the City of Shreveport, I'd like to welcome our special guests. First, I'd like to have Dr. Ray Belton, one of the city's favorite sons, stand up along with Coach Dawson Odom. Next, I'd like to have President Rick Gallo of Grambling State University and Coach Broderick Fobbs stand up and give them a welcome. I don't typically comment on my attire, but this morning I very much focused on dressing as neutral as possible with having these two special guests in our city, not to tilt my hand whatsoever. If there's anything I've learned in politics, it's to remain neutral when it comes to this Southern versus Grambling rivalry, and I gotta say I love both of you equally. So thank you so much for being here. But I'm honored and pleased to have you all in our city for this very, very important announcement. There's been a buzz going on for quite some time about what was going to happen to the Bayou Classic, whether or not we were going to be able to have the Bayou Classic, where would it be? And there's been a lot of people working constantly and a lot of long nights for a long time now. So I'm very excited to announce that Shreveport will be the host to the 47th Annual Bayou Classic. It will be held on Saturday, April 17th, 2021, temporarily. Extensive renovation work has been scheduled at the Superdome, and it afforded us an opportunity for all of us to win. But what I mean by that is that we get to keep this amazing event right here in the state of Louisiana. We are excited to host the Classic and welcome students, alum, and fans from both Grambling and Southern to Shreveport, Louisiana. The Bayou Classic is an annual extravaganza of two great universities in a celebration of football, family, and the tradition surrounding two of the greatest marching bands in the world. I assure you that the City of Shreveport and our partners will make this a spectacular event. The city is partnering with Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser and the Louisiana Office of Tourism, Dr. Woody Wilson and the Parish Commission, Chris Giordano, President and General Manager of our State Fair, Kelly Wells at the Sports Commission, and so many other partners to make sure this event is one to remember. We work together up here to make sure our guests are treated well and that when people leave, they always want to come back for more. 2020 has been a year like no other, and I do not have to tell this crowd that. We have faced many, many challenges, and even as you've come to this press conference today, we are all wearing masks. You had to get a temperature check. Our chairs are social distance. And unfortunately, it's a reminder to us that the virus, COVID-19, is alive and well. So although we're celebrating, we have to make sure, especially considering that this is a football game and a celebration of two historically black colleges and universities. Excuse me. Especially that this is a football game of two historically black colleges and universities, especially considering that this is a community with a majority African-American population, and we know that COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted the African-American population, that we have to take precautions to keep ourselves safe, our fans safe, the students safe as we go about this endeavor. And we've already started that today by adhering to CDC guidelines, and we have to continue that through the execution of this event. We are grateful to the organizers as well of the Bayou Classic. I want to start out by acknowledging Noki, New Orleans Convention Company Incorporated, Southern and Grambling, and the SWAC for allowing this game to come to Shreveport. And I can assure you that the citizens of Shreveport have long been supporters of the Bayou Classic, and we will be glad to have this game right here in our hometown. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Mr. Mayor. You heard it here, the 47th Annual Bayou Classic will be played right here in our city. This major event could not have taken place without the help of sponsors, both local, state, and statewide. We're grateful for both partners. The Louisiana Office of Tourism is a huge supporter of the Bayou Classic, and at this time we will hear a few words from our Lieutenant Governor, Billy Nungesser, and he will be followed by Kelly Wells, the Executive Director of the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, and a representative from our local tourism bureau.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. I'm so sorry that I could not be here in person to attend the presentation, but I'm thrilled that the Bayou Classic is not being canceled. I want to thank the Shreveport-Bossier community for welcoming the sport event there today. I am sure the Grambling Tigers and the Southern Jaguars will bring spirit on and off the field. With countless fan experiences, there's going to be a whole lot to do that weekend. Make sure you don't miss the Battle of the Bands. It's a Bayou Classic tradition. Since 1932, this annual competition has been one of the most anticipated sporting events of the year. Thank you to Shreveport for allowing Louisiana to continue this great tradition. Look forward to seeing you there.
And now, Kelly Wells.
Well, good afternoon. Whoa. First of all, I'd like to recognize our board members that are here today, starting with Jason McKinney, who's the chair of the Shreveport-Bossier Convention and Tourist Bureau, which is a division, and the Sports Commission is a division of the Tourist Bureau. I'd also like to welcome Coach Billy Montgomery, our chair, Reverend Dole Adams, Mr. Joe Marrow, and Commissioner Lyndon B. Johnson. And those are our appointees on our Sports Commission board. When I started in the hospitality and sports industry 20 years ago, one of the first major projects I completed was a frontline employee training for more than 10,000 tourist employees in the Shreveport-Bossier area. I enlisted top partners to be a part of this project. I asked them each, how do you provide that wow experience? Wow being defined as an amazing or exemplary service or experience. We can all relate to having this type of interaction, and it's always a product of an exemplary employee you interacted with, whether that was a business trip or a leisure vacation. I'll never forget, many of you may know her, Carolyn Coatney, who was the director of the Southern University Museum of Art in downtown Shreveport. Mayor, by the way, I dressed today, I wanted to show neutrality as well. But she was one of those leaders. I'll never forget some words that she said that has really transformed the way I lead my team, partners, and projects today. I asked her to be a part of this training program years ago, and what she said, and I quote, stuck with me all these years. And I can't replicate her enthusiasm for how she said it. She said, in the morning when I wake up, y'all, it's lights, cameras, action. We're selling feel-good at this museum, and I'm going to give it to them each and every day. If you know Carolyn, she was an energy drink before Monster Red Bull had even came out. Her words still ring true. Each one of us in this room is selling Feel Good in our respective roles. Surrounding this prestigious event, the Bayou Classic, Grambling State University, Southern University, we're creating Feel Good for these students, athletes, fans, and alumni that love the game, and the unmatched experience that cannot be replicated anywhere else in the world. I've learned over the years that Feel Good, while seemingly simple, is strategic, planned, and hard, but definitely not impossible to do day to day. Delivering Feel Good is key from the leadership to the front line. For this ultimate experience we love is the Bayou Classic to happen next April. Our success depends on each one of you in this room and the thousands of people who make up the Shreveport-Bossier tourism industry to score big on selling Feel Good on this amazing opportunity that's presented to us today. There's one thing our community does well, and that's deliver hospitality at the ultimate level. From our smiling front desk and charming restaurateurs and servers to our friendly attractions professionals, casino employees, we will deliver first-class service come April. Presidents, coaches, athletic directors, administrators, community leaders, supporters, media, elected officials here today, those watching live on Zoom or Facebook, please know that the Shreveport-Bossier Sports goal in partnership with each of y'all in this room or that couldn't be here today, over the next 7 months, we will work diligently to ensure that when the weekend of April 17 arrives, that first guest drives up to our community, they will be welcomed by Shreveport and Caddo Parish, Bossier City and Bossier Parish as one community. Our plan is to create what will be a hugely successful 2021 Classic. It's going to take our whole community. It will require upfront investment, and Mayor, probably even a little bit more than what we're contemplating now. Not just from those in this room, but other businesses, both those that are affiliated and not affiliated with either Grambling or Southern or the game in the past. Only then can we have a once-in-a-lifetime experience for those visitors who are coming to our area. So when we go live for that 2021 Bayou Classic on that crisp spring Saturday in April, and I'm already praying that in April we'll have weather like we do today. For those watching live on their TV sets nationally, we want you to know it's lights, cameras, action, and our community is going to wow each of you that make up the Bayou Classic family. We're going to showcase not only our hospitality, but we will also provide that perfect blend of Feel Good to that already established brand of the Bayou Classic. Thank you, Southern University and Grambling State University, for teaming up with our community to bring this world-renowned event to Shreveport next April. Thank you, Mayor, the public and private partners for this investment that you're making, not only for the announcement today, but the legwork and the planning it's going to take over the next 7 months. On behalf of our Shreveport-Bossier tourism community, we will be ready. You bring the game, and we will bring the support of our people and our businesses, regardless of who wins, and I know that's important, coaches. We're all going to leave feeling good. Thank you all very much.
Nobody from the sports business? All right, so again, of course, it's a press conference and it's supposed to be serious, but it's a SWAC event, so I have a question. Are the Jaguars in the house? So I have a friend named Darren Dixon, another friend named Donnie Bell, a friend Rashida Simmons. They're all Jaguars, and they told me that the Jaguars would get loud and hype about that. And I didn't really hear that. So I ask again, are the Jaguars in the house? Oh, okay. Okay, well, as last year's champions, you guys are up first. So let's give it up for Shreveport's very own, of course we claimed him as our very own, Dr. Ray Belton, president of the Southern University System. And following his remarks, he will introduce his coach, Mr. Odoms.
Excuse me. Good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to bring greetings on behalf of the administration, the faculty, staff, and most importantly, the students of Southern University and A&M College, home of academic excellence, the fabulous Dancing Dolls, the world-renowned Human Jukebox, and the SWAC Western champions, the Jaguar football team, the two-time Western champions. I tell you, I take great privilege and it's truly excited to be amongst you this afternoon. I have the great pleasure of being accompanied today by our AD, Coach Roman Banks, Mr. Al Harrell, who serves as the Southern University System Foundation, my Vice President for External Affairs, Dr. Robin Merritt. And indeed, I'm always surrounded by Jaguar alumni, advocates, and supporters. And I have to tell you that I'm truly pleased to be joined by my colleague here in Shreveport, Dr. Rodney Ellis, who brings leadership of the Southern University and Shreveport campus. Give them a round of applause, if you will. I am truly pleased to be home. I'm amongst friends, as I always say, and I certainly want to just take this opportunity while I have it to express my appreciation to the city of Shreveport, its mayor, the city council, and indeed the commission for everything that you do in supporting higher education in Northwest Louisiana, and particularly as it relates to Southern University. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. You have literally reached your hand out to both Southern University and Grambling State University. This is the 47th annual engagement amongst two premier institutions. And I would like to as well acknowledge a premier individual in the name of President Rick Gallo. Rick, we are brothers in many ways, but certainly Southern University and Grambling are seen as premier institutions amongst HBCUs and within the higher education community. And we have established such a foundation even amongst our peers across this country based on the degree to which I think not only do we feel student athletes who come to the role with a purpose, but we also mold men and women, you know, along the way. And certainly that has been the case at Southern University, where even this year, and despite the pandemic, the university is enjoying its fourth consecutive year of growth. And we reported just last week that the university has even increased its enrollment by as much as 14% in the fall semester. And so that speaks, I think, to the value of our institution. And when we look and we drill down and even look at our student athletes, last year 50% of our student athletes achieved a GPA of 3.0 and above. 50%. Give them a round of applause, if you will. And they are guided by a guy who is passionate, I should say, about his role, but who really take it serious to really define and shape the players that represent the Jaguar football team. And I speak of Coach Odoms. I'm really proud and we're really excited to have him in keeping with what he brings to our university community. And you will witness that on April the 17th in 2021. Look, we celebrate our camaraderie, Grambling and Southern University, but not on April the 17th. We plan on coming to Shreveport, enjoying ourselves and taking in the warmness of this community, but certainly we are coming here with a purpose, and that is to represent Southern University, to maintain our rightful place as competitors within this SWAC, and to do so as guided by pride and tradition. So again, thank you for reaching out. We look forward to engaging with you as things continue to unfold here in the community, and we're looking forward to a great time on April 17th as we engage once again with Grambling State University. Let me then take this opportunity to again introduce Coach Odoms. We, since arriving in Baton Rouge I want to say almost 6 years ago, I've had the great pleasure of witnessing a coach who gives his all, who had been challenged with a number of issues in trying to field a team, trying to fulfill the mandates of the NCAA, and while at the same time fielding a team who's guided by the values of our institution. And it's a special privilege then for me to recognize him at this time in keeping with the legacy that he continues to shape at Southern University and A&M College. It is my sense that he will continue to define our players. He will continue to please the fans and supporters of our university community, and he will continue to ensure that we are winners, not only on the field, but for those students who are engaging in life. So again, allow me to welcome, for your consideration, Coach Odoms to the stand.
First of all, how's everyone doing? It's a little different to be up here. Normally, we went through the season and been through our ups and downs and really getting ready to have a game when we talk about the Bayou Classic. So this is unique. But I think when you talk about Southern University and Grambling, you always talk about the uniqueness of both programs. I respect my opponent, Roger Fobbs, to the utmost. I think he's done an outstanding job leading the University of Grambling football Tigers. And it's always an honor. Thank you to the city of Shreveport for keeping this in Louisiana. I think some months ago we didn't know what today was going to be like. I think we understand that a lot's going on in our country, and I would be very disappointed if I didn't say how good is our God, because we're able to stand up here today and talk about football where there was a time we didn't even know if we was going to play. But it's exciting to be here. It's always great. I work for a great boss. I think A.D. Roman Banks is exceptional. He gives all us an opportunity to take a platform and be the leaders that we've been called to be, giving us the information that we need during this crisis and leading us. I think we're here because of that great leadership. And it's just outstanding for me to be able to stand up here and be the head coach of Southern University, getting ready to go into the 47th Bayou Classic in Shreveport, another great city in the great state of Louisiana. I think our players will be excited, no matter where you play the Bayou Classic, but I think they love planted in Louisiana because the majority of both teams are from Louisiana. This is our Bayou Classic. This is the pride of Southern University, the pride of Grambling, the pride of the people that make up both universities. There's no greater platform in HBCU than the Bayou Classic, and you all deserve a round of applause because it took all of you to make it happen, and we're so grateful for it. A game is going to take place, and that game is usually going to decide, again, probably who's going to win the West. We understand that. We know it's going to be a journey, but we're preparing for that journey as we get near that season. As we go into the next couple of months, a lot of things are going to take place in shaping our football team, getting our young men prepared for the season that's coming in 2021. It will be a season unlike any other. You don't know what each day is going to hold, but you got to prepare yourself for the unknown. A lot of things are going to transpire that we don't have answers for. But at the end of the day, I think the leadership of Southern University, from Dr. Belton to Roman Banks, give us an opportunity to say the Jags will be ready come spring 2021, and leave no doubt they'll be ready to take on the Grambling Tigers when we get to that opportunity. I'm just so grateful to be able to stand up before you on behalf of our program. I have Coach Washington and Coach Jones, who's here today, both assistant coaches on defense with us. Understand that we're doing all we can to make sure that the priorities are not overlooked. Football is important, but we also dealing with a lot of issues on a day-to-day basis that our players are having to deal with. They're watching all these other teams play. Me and Coach Fobbs talked about it prior to the press conference taking place. A lot of things are going through their heads, a lot of things that are happening to their families. But being a great leader, you have to be able to understand that sometimes you have to go slow and take steps back so that you can invest in the people that really need your time. And right now, our players really need our time, they need our love, and they need us caring about them on a day-to-day basis. We don't know half the things that they're going through, but we do know they're fighting. The best battles are still yet to be won. But at the end of the day, I ask the good Lord to continue to give us the strength and the courage to go forward and represent this program to the very best. And come 2021, spring football is going to take place in the SWAC, and we're blessed to be a part of it. Thank you. Go Jags.
One more time for the president and the coach of the Southern University Jaguars. I have friends like Brandy Evans and Commissioner Steven Jackson who tells me that ain't no party like a GSU party, because the GSU party don't stop. Is Grambling in the house? I mean, is Grambling really in the house? They challenging you, Tigers. Is Grambling in the house? We're in Northwest Louisiana, so I know there's got to be Grand Fam here. They just have to. So Grand Fam, show some love to President Rick Gallant as he comes in his own way, and follow him. Of course, we'll hear from Coach Fobbs.
Guess the MC forgot they told us to limit our numbers. Good afternoon to everyone, and thank you so much for coming out. I absolutely want to thank Mayor Perkins for his leadership in never ceasing to pursue this Bayou Classic to be held here in Shreveport. Even after statements were released that no changes had been made despite what was on Facebook or Twitter, that we would still be in New Orleans, he didn't let up and continued to pursue an opportunity for Shreveport to host this game. And so we are very grateful to you, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership, for your dynamic leadership in this city, along with your city council. We also are very appreciative of the Caddo Parish Commission, of course, our very own Stephen Jackson, who is a proud Grambling and former student government president there. The Sports Commission, we appreciate everyone really coming together to show us that you want us to be here. And so we are very much grateful for the opportunity and looking forward to this game in April. I also want to thank Commissioner Charles McClellan, Dr. McClellan, as well as Dr. Belton and our colleagues in the Southwestern Athletic Conference for making what I think was a very wise decision to postpone our fall sports. I think with everything going on with the COVID-19 pandemic, there was no way that we felt we could play a fall season safely. And so it was only after consultation among the presidents of the Southwestern Athletic Conference that we were very confident that we were making the right decision to postpone our fall sports to the spring. So again, I'm very grateful to serve with a number of dynamic leaders like Dr. Belton, who, as he said, is my friend, my fraternity brother, and one that I have the utmost admiration for as the university president. I want to thank the Shreveport Bossier community for your overall support of this effort, and we certainly look forward to making a major impact in this area. I would also like to say that we're very proud of our student athletes who have shown, not too early to start competing, Dr. Belton, that we had 55% of our student athletes who had a 3.0 or above. Dr. Ponton, the athletic director, sent that to me here. But we're also, like Southern and many HBCUs around the country, showing enrollment increases. So in a time during a pandemic where national experts predicted a 10 to 15% reduction or decline in enrollment, we've actually seen another year, a sixth year of steady increases, including a 42% increase in first-time freshmen at Grambling State University this fall. So we're very grateful for that, and I don't know if it's our new first and only bachelor's degree in cybersecurity, or our first and only bachelor's degree in cloud computing, or our first and only digital library that's currently under construction. We're very grateful to have a number of great students who have chosen Grambling State University for their place of education. I could brag all afternoon about Grambling, but that's not why we're here. And so at this point, I'm certainly very grateful to have come to this position, and this is beginning my 5th year, and having the opportunity to work with and to learn from a guy that is of such high quality and caliber as Broderick Fobbs. He's just solid, all the way around. He is not only an exceptional football coach, but he is a molder of men, and he really takes pride in what he does. And it certainly, as a president, gives me a good feeling when I get unsolicited calls to say your football team visited the Edmund Pettus Bridge or the Holocaust Museum because Coach Fobbs felt it was important to not only teach X's and O's, but also to teach them about life. And so he's been a great example for these young men to follow, and we're just grateful to have someone of his caliber and of his quality serving as the coach of the Grambling State University football program. So without further ado, I now bring up my friend, our coach, Broderick Fobbs.
Good afternoon. It is definitely an honor and a privilege to be here. I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this opportunity, and I think we all will agree we're glad to be here and be in His presence. I had to kind of roll the dice this morning. I hadn't worn a suit in maybe about 7 or 8 months, so I didn't know which one that was going to fit, Coach. So I guess I got lucky. I picked the right one. But this Bayou Classic is just so amazing. This event is so amazing, and It needs to be in Louisiana. You know, there's been a time when we kind of crossed, you know, Louisiana boundaries and went over to Texas to play this game, and you know, the shrimp didn't taste the same, the catfish didn't taste the same, you know, all the food didn't taste the same. So just so appreciative, firstly to Mayor Perkins for having this event here and for hosting it, and then also Louisiana Tourism and everybody involved that played a major role in keeping this thing in Louisiana. 47th Bayou Classic, you know, I've been a part of very many of a bunch of them, you know, as a player, as a coach, but then also as a fan, as a little boy. So it's going to be huge, and it's going to also be big to have a chance to play it in North Louisiana, you know, where we're home. Shreveport is our second home, and has always been really good to us, you know, when we've come here and played. So you know, it's purposeful, but also it's important, you know, not only to the people of Louisiana, but to everyone in the country. You know, just like Coach said, you know, the Bayou Classic has been big, you know, for so many, but also this conference, the SWAC conference, has been big, and I too appreciate the way that we've handled, you know, everything that we've done, you know, this particular season. For the most part, you know, the students and their well-being is the most important thing, and that's something that our conference and both schools are to be commended for. But we're looking forward to this season. You know, we're kind of in off season right now and focused on, you know, weight training and conditioning, but we look forward to everything when it starts in January, which will be, you know, a little bit different than it's been in the past. But we're looking forward to being successful and then competing against Coach Odoms and Southern University. You know, he's a personal friend of mine. He's done an awesome job, and his team is always there, you know, every year, and we look forward to competing against him. Thank you.
I'm imagining they won't be so friendly on April 17th next year. But I'm sure the mayor has already done this and will do it again. But good luck, and we look forward to hosting your teams, your bands, definitely your student body and alumni. Who's going to win? SU? GSU? This time. All right, now, you know, we're definitely in for a great game. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all for coming today. At this time, we'll have closing remarks from the mayor of our great city, Mayor Adrian Perkins.
I just want to say 2020 has been a year that has very much weighed on each and every one of us. Good news has been far in between and far too infrequent, and today the city of Shreveport gets to celebrate. We have some very good news. This is a huge day for us, and today wouldn't be possible without the support of my city council who's here, and without the support of my staff that I missed earlier, but I saved the best for last. If it wasn't for Miss Africa Price, who is a proud FAMU graduate, and she's rocking her orange and green today as a proud Rattler, just to let y'all know. And also my, oh yeah, their friendly competition is alive and well right now. And also Miss Shanerica Flemings, who's a double Southern graduate, Southern undergrad and Southern Law School, who's here, and my city attorney, Mr. Ron Latier, who graduated first in his class from Southern Law School. And I can't talk about Southern so much without acknowledging Grambling at the same time. You know I can't do that. So again, and we got Commissioner Jackson being a very proud Grambling graduate as well. Happy to have him here. I'm happy for all the extended invitations from President Gallo to come and speak at their commencement. I was just there at Grambling on Friday. Wasn't it? Oh yeah. Wait. Oh, she's a Grambling graduate? Oh, oh yeah, of course. I know, yeah. We got our school board member, Miss Dottie Bell, here, who's a Southern graduate. So I thought he was trying to say, needless to say, both of these universities are extremely interwoven into our community. Although they're based in Grambling and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, they're very much here within our hearts and our spirits at Shreveport at all times. And we just are super excited that they're here. And I just want them to know that we are not taking this for granted, that this is great news for us and the impact that this will have on our community. So thank you all for your leadership. And at this time, I'll take any questions, or we'll take any questions that the media has. Yep. Timmy?
What's some of the extra activities that New Orleans hosting besides the games? You know, New Orleans offer a lot of activities and other things connected to the game. Are we planning any of those yet? Or are we going to?
So we're going to start planning the activities surrounding the actual game itself. We know that there's going to be a battle of the bands and things like that, but we're going to continue to partner with the Sports Commission, with the Tourism Bureau, with a lot of our local entities, restaurants, hotels, you name it, to make sure that they have the warmest welcome possible, and there'll be plenty of entertainment, I promise you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, can you let us in on the planning and negotiations that went on to bring the game here to Shreveport as opposed to another city?
Yeah, and I mean, the President Gallo kind of exposed me a little bit in talking about my persistence behind the scenes. But we knew that New Orleans were a little bit more restrictive, not just with COVID-19, but they also in January are going through renovations at the Superdome. So it was a couple obstacles of them having it in New Orleans. And we wanted to simply make ourselves available here in Shreveport. Again, we all win if we keep this game within the state. We keep those dollars within the state. And when the players get to come and eat seafood that tastes similar to that's in New Orleans. So it's been a lot of collaboration throughout for months now. We made ourselves available, and my staff have been working the details to make sure that it fiscally makes sense for both teams, for the universities, for our community, and again, just being able to provide the best and safest game possible.
Were other cities in the running for this?
Perhaps, but we won, and that's the most important part of it. Shreveport won, and it's going to be here at the end of the day. So yeah, obviously there were other considerations out there, but again, our close relationship, our close bond between both universities is what landed the game here for the year 2021.
What can you say as far as preparations that will be in place in the city to handle an influx of visitors, perhaps from a public safety standpoint?
Yeah. So when it comes to public health, as I said earlier, we will be adhering to CDC guidelines, and we have the utmost respect for this virus. So in the meantime, if you want to make this the biggest event possible, we have to do what we have to do as a community to get these COVID-19 numbers down as far as possible. We have no idea if we'll have a vaccine at that time, so we need to be responsible as a community to make sure those numbers are extremely low and that we can continue to go forward within our phases. That's the way we get the most out of this particular event, but public health will be a priority for us. We know that we are working with students. We're going to be having families in our community, and we will be working with hotels, venues, anybody hosting events around the Bayou Classic to make sure that they're safe.
We haven't heard so far much about the numbers, economic development, impact, and that sort of thing. Can you tell us about that? Have you guys run some numbers at all?
Yes, so, and I'm going to tell you, that's going to be a moving target. We know that this event generates millions and millions of dollars for the city of New Orleans, but obviously it's going to be a bit different this year. There's going to be a moving target, and it's going to be based off whichever phase that we're in and how many people we can have at events, how many people we can have in indoor facilities at the time. So what we do know is that, again, it can be as big as it is in New Orleans, or it can be a fraction of that if we don't do what's right by in our community to drive those numbers down. And that's what we need to be focused on to really set ourselves up for the greatest impact.
There's been some comments on social media regarding safety and people needing bulletproof vests to be here at the game in Shreveport. How would you address safety in terms of the game and maybe people coming to the game and not making that decision?
Yeah, Shreveport Police Department is going to be obviously present in providing that safety, and we're going to be partnering with the Sheriff's Office and various other law enforcement with local, state, and federal agencies to make sure this is the safest environment possible. There's a lot of narratives out there about safety within Shreveport, and we know this year when it comes to homicides, we're a bit up, but overall last year was one of the safest years in the city, and we're going to continue to do all that we can to make sure people are safe when they visit our city, just like always. So, we don't want the negative narratives to try to overshadow or really taint this event. We're as safe as a city as ever, and we're going to continue to pursue that. Yeah, Commissioner Jackson said Shreveport is safer than New Orleans. I got to quote him on that. What was that? I'm sorry. When will tickets go on sale? Do we have that time frame yet? Okay. Athletic Director, Mr. Roman Banks say probably early next month, right?
Now, the game is supposed to happen next November as well. Do we expect to get the same turnout in April?
As in November, and I gotta put it back on the fact that it's going to be where we are with COVID-19. I think that is very much going to determine turnout. But you better believe that the will of the fans to come out and support their home teams is going to be there 100%. I think the limitation is going to be where we are in our phases and how we're dealing with COVID-19. And with Southern and Grambling fans, you're going to have 4 Bayou Classics, and I'm sure you're going to get maxed out attendance at any of them. So that's not going to take away from the game in April or December, in my opinion. All right, last question.
Usually with the bowl game, there's a payout. I don't know, is that the case usually with this as well? Like if you go to Orangeville, each school gets like $10 million. I don't know what your potential payoff is. Is that something Shreveport is responsible for?
I'm gonna have to defer to Southern or Grambling if you all want. I don't know if we've got to those details yet. So still negotiating. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you for the support, and this is a big day for Shreveport. Have a good day. I'm the short guy anyway. I couldn't be sitting out. Appreciate you. Y'all got a title to defend. I said, y'all got a title to defend. What's going on, man? Man, it's like everybody in Shreveport like, hey, you talking wrong? I'm like, yeah.